Yamamu nyina ha emma kwa ba United Television so eni premu atui na chese ato ebre aso sekase ayaboabo no ewo memu yede ni nyina emma mo kam ho ye de aseda piesie emma this way chocolate drink de ohia eye enso hie koko papa na ye de aye afi eno achi ni best point savings and loans and best assurance sika fam ye de ye ho etwe wo mo na special ice ensuo ewo dwaso ensuo ede ekoyie papa na special drinks eboni chidom we ani nmeku ahorobe na omaso emu apem to beka se eboy ye de eba na ni nyina emu no ye catch on secret DSTV channel 360 netie ensem no ebi ewo ho yemamu nyina akwaba eba prem to beka se eboy eso obahima afiache me na making kan ensem no edi amamo yentie ensem no enchiemwe majority leader owomrahye bedwam edi atudwa ache se ekwan a omampanyi Jondroman Mahama enam so na kani chief justice watching to akonwa asensen no ne kwan so ano no hu ni se enyade a emfumso bia ewo mu
government.
This week on Thursday, 22nd May.
I pay attention to the process. I have not heard anybody specifically say that this part of the process is not provided for in the Constitution. I have not seen anyone. I have listened to all the discussions. Not one single, indication that this step in the process. People are throwing innuendos. People are speculating. Oh, why is it that these lawyers who are known to be lawyers who have ever represented XYZ are the ones who are also representing the people that somebody decides to choose as lawyers? It's not my business. Are you getting the situation? My business is whether or not the process is respected. Are you getting the situation? Now, somebody says, I want the hearing to be held in public. I want a transparent process. Did the Constitution say a transparent process? Did the Constitution say a process in camera? If the Constitution said a process in camera, when you are being vetted in this parliament and you are being appointed as the Chief Justice, why didn't you say that I am accepting the job subject to me not accepting the procedure for removing me? If you had told us at that time, would we have appointed you as Chief Justice? It comes as a package. The Constitution creates the office of Chief Justice, and the same Constitution creates the procedure by which the Chief Justice should be removed. If you accept the office, you must accept the procedure by which you are going to be removed. It's a package. You cannot accept to enjoy the perks of the office of Chief Justice, and then the procedure by which you will be removed, you say that you not accept that one. Where were you when you were being appointed Chief Justice? So sometimes I don't even understand where people are coming from. So let's be clear when we are communicating to the public. The president has not engaged in one single wrongdoing in this whole process. The petitions were not sent. Some of the petitions didn't even go now. Some of the petitions were sent by the petitioners even when the previous president was there, and we are aware. So let's not misrepresent things to the public.
Minority Chief Whip no ayemrahye bedwani e wonsawom adreji abaton pesua eso Honorable Frank Anodompre e de ato empanyifo mo ban e wo mamunity chiu ene osoafo hwe empotamu hinsem ene suma horo wonsam so e na afi bambofo enim se wo mo nhye emma asumdwe mapa enkoso ne pesua ne so esanse ekuo mienu adreji zongo ena nsawom adreji adehye bi e de aboani ema ekowi ase kra no okra baako ato
2025 some Adreji municipality was hit with a tragic and regrettable incident which resulted in the death of one resident of the Adreji township and left others injured. Several properties were vandalized indiscriminately, and some of those scenes were recorded by terrified onlookers. Speaker, it is worth noting here that these conflicts stem mainly from chieftaincy disputes that are ongoing in the area. It is indeed true that Adreji Township has been unfortunately occasioned with chieftaincy disputes in the past. Though not all the events turn out as open conflicts, various notable activities as far back 2007 contribute to the growing differences between the groups. Mr. Speaker, permit me to acknowledge the effort of the Eastern South Regional Police Command, DCOP Ohini Bwedi, and the Police Divisional Command, Superintendent Stephen Apia, for their swift responses to the incident. The collaboration between their uniformed officers and residents were critical in salvaging the chaos to a great extent. Speaker, indeed, we saw heavy deployment of police officers leading to the arrest of many suspects involved in this incident that took place last week. Again, Mr. Speaker, with the swift intervention of the Minister for Interior, Honorable Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, who doubles as the head of national security, coordinated strategies were employed to deal with the violence in a timely manner. The people of Nsawam are indeed grateful.
And I would hope that, Mr. Speaker, in addressing the issues that we're seeing around chieftaincy, we're not making exceptions in how the law is applied, because that is a trend that we're seeing all across this country. Too many people are in possession of too many illegal arms and are using them in the name of chieftaincy disputes, which is also causing a lot of instability. And this happens all the way from Boku right down to Nsawam and to other parts of Greater Accra and the rest of the country. Mr. Speaker, indeed, we have seen the police acting as they ought to, but I think that we also need to perhaps have a broader conversation on the issue of how chieftaincy disputes are being addressed in the country.
The institution of chieftaincy is governed by law. The Chieftaincy Act is there, and cause of matters affecting chieftaincy must be dealt with at the appropriate forum, either the traditional council, the regional house of chiefs, or the National House of Chiefs, beyond which it must go to the Supreme Court. But it appears, instead of people petitioning the traditional council, the Regional House of Chiefs, to have their chieftaincy disputes resolved, they take the law into their own hands, leading to conflicts of this nature. I can only plead with the parties involved to resort to the use of the law to resolve their differences. I think that is the best way we should go as a country governed by law. I would wish to refer the statement to the minister responsible for local government, culture, and chieftaincy.
Osrofo we fi semo nsem so Honorable Muntaka Mubarak. Na wodi ato dwa se eniema eba se ya no ebima etuma asumdue mapa eba no se ye ka ho asem e wo bibrema toye amamu a eya ye ma emma ene emi e wo mekoba ne sa ebetumi aboa.
One of the most urgent tasks before us is to amplify women's voice in the space of peace building, governance, and democratic transitions. Women are not just victims of conflict. They are peace builders, mediators, community leaders, and agents of change. Across West Africa, women have mobilized for disarmament and ceasefires, as seen in Liberia, as mentioned earlier, in Sierra Leone, and led grassroots peace dialogue and community healing processes, pushed for gender-inclusive legislation and early warning system, and advocated for accountability and transitional justice. Despite this contribution, women remain underrepresented in formal peace negotiation, security institutions, and political decision-making. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has taken progressive steps to promote women's leadership in peace and democratic governance by appointing Ghana's first female vice president in 2025, 3 female chief justices, and 2 female electoral commission chairs over the past 2 decades. In 2024, Ghana also passed the Affirmative Action, Gender Equality Act in 2024, mandating a minimum 40% female representation in public appointments.
Cabinet has also ordered the validation of a new draft national agenda policy to replace the one prepared in 2015 to better align with contemporary peace and security dynamics. In addition, through our partners, we developed and implemented the Ghana National Action Plan on the UNSCR 1325 to institutionalize women's role in peace processes at national and community levels. My understanding is that the document is under review after implementation over the last 5 years. These efforts reflect our belief that women must not only be at the table, they must be part of the head of the table when decisions about peace and governance are made.
Australia wants greater permanent and non-permanent representation for Africa, Latin America and the Caribbean and the Asia Pacific. We must also reform the peace building and conflict prevention architecture so it works a lot better for us. That will be the focus of Australia's current term on the Peace Building Commission. For peace to be truly durable, it must be built by and for all of society. That includes women. Gender equality is a primary predictive piece, as we've just heard, even more so than a state's wealth or political system. That is why Australia champions the Women, Peace and Security agenda.
Wada board of directors for Eddie ama Ghana Enterprises Agency na oswafo hwe adwadi mfidi juma enu kua ho nsem eso honorable Elizabeth Ofosu Ejare ono na da board of directors for Eddie.
Any agency that is responsible for micro, small and medium scale enterprises is a very serious one because it employs a large range of people, especially women and youth. And so I will hope that when you start work, you bring your expertise to bear, helping them to upskill, helping them with standardization, helping them with access to market, especially the African market. I'm sure that you help them to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area. I know what you do already in your private lives, and I'm sure that at the end of 1 year, if I'm doing an assessment of GEA, I'll be proud of my board members because they would have brought expertise to bear. Again, GEA has enjoyed a lot of sponsorship and support from donor partners. Bring your social network to bear to increase on what you have come to inherit. And then for what you have come to inherit, these donor partners go and play according to the book. They play strictly by the rules. And so if we don't do that, we have the tendency to lose some of them. I know that at your tenure, you are going to preserve what you have inherited and add more to it. Add more programs, give proper leadership, and then at the end of the day, I'm sure GEA will be better for it, Ghana will be better for it. We have a whole deputy minister on it, on the board. We have strong public servants, we have the AGI, we have strong women, and so I'm so confident. We have lawyers, so I'm so confident that GEA has one of the best boards in town and they're supposed to do their best.
As you rightly said, this is an agency that sits at the heart of Ghana's economy. Being able to support the growth of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises is something that I think is crucial. And so I can assure you that we will work together as a team to bring solutions to the challenges that SMEs face in Ghana. We are not going to come to your door knocking to tell you about problems. We are going to come to you with innovative solutions that we can work together with to grow micro and small and medium-sized enterprises in Ghana. So on that note, I wholeheartedly accept the opportunity to serve on this board. And I'm sure my colleagues, board members, will also happily accept the opportunity to serve on the GEA board.
decongestion exercise bi akoso e wo Kasoa ene ne mpotem na eno achi no na MC yo ewutu senya east honorable set Saba Banini se wono akohwe edwa fefefe bi a wasi awie e wo Iron City a wo de ebema adwedifo no ne sa enti wo behwe na adwedifo mtonton niam a wo kwan ho kwan ni pavement so no wayi wo mu nyina ede wo mu akoho
decongestion exercise na ye yedi hu komo around the central business district enwa munye anope na ye decongestion nipa kakra bi efa ho so mo yo ye che no mo ni bebi a mo kwa akohedwa wo medinka ka se ya behwe ha ye satellite market ba kwa wo Iron City ha na ye share plan na se be planning here before I be moving conformable until traffic light issue nearby. Tianope ye buy na ye be hwe mo tutumo camera na there are empty shelves here. Nice market I wo ha. Nipa be miensa na omo moto ade wo ndru 5. Omo ha. Meanwhile no edwadifo I was saying komo ha no omo free ha akọ we central businesses shedwa e wo kwan so. And so this particular visit here is to make sure say you be you nyina ba onim pavement na so na edwadifo wo no enye amanyosem ene enye nyina de say you be you omofrio but gutters na wo pavement gutters nyina seli last week in so eto nyina inso ni nya baby mfa into be hwa nkofo anso fa ma menem nyina akonnam nso ma any MP. That is the main issue a wo ho I was say you move free na ye nya kwan together with NADMO any other official tax force na ye timi aye major distilling e wo hono because that is in necessary
sa omo e ba be kan ye ho so on be kan ye ho a e be ma edwa na bie sansa me hwe se edwa kama ya ma yen a enipa ntimu a wo nyina tete kwan ho no se ade wo ba be kan ye ho a ye ni be jepa e be ma dwadie ne nso akoso
market ni die se no odi kakan no fitiase ne na ha shipa but edubremi no na ekofo timiami bi se bi mu se adentina omo person be hyejo omo se omo ton ade amafo mba but omo prefer so ba ko gina ekwano mu ewo ewe Kasoa ho no mo gina wa eden a omo beto and since that time obi a sorry a na akokodi bia ho moreover so omo so mo ton ade wa so ara ne man so ne boarding temo bibi kakra bi pe no see 10 cedi 20 cedi don't prefer some call Kasoa no mama omanya ne cheap tini nyina so kan enema ahane de collapse ba for
From Tubraka Siebo e United Television so eni eno wasungu so a o share na utie ye kenkan ensem no e de amaw eno ada adechinsumadwumedi a ekoso United Television so no emrahye bedwani a ogina mu e de ma omanfo a wo otafo abato empesua eso honorable Eco Vincent asefo enyakonya eba so na enum no de sobo bi etu dwase se wo hye akonya sonko Ghana enyaye na Unity Games eni Nigeria for de hye so e wo UK na ohun ne se NDC amanyukon efa akwati kwan eso anko de won supporters bebro ahenum ekwa akwaje visa akohwe game no wabreko a no hu ni se entwaye na enum no na empanyufo ede krata aba wo chese ekwan a enam so emamrahye bedwani ede sa sobon etu edwa no na chese hwehwe maso kakra hu ni se enke wose na onya akonya kese ewo United Television so san otumi de adanse mapa eba enti eno ho na wo de krata epie edwa na mekọ ahoma no so na mni Owura Godwin Mahama Ayaba a odi akotin yie ewo ensemu a odi ensem etu dwan atwetwe enkomo opanyi UTV so ni mahan
ya mini aba
pato bibi aboko de
yeho adon me ho ye na wo so
nyankopon hu mbobo me ho ye pa wadaro ma ensem a honorable Vincent asefo edi tu dwan mo hu ni se wamfa danse bi antu dwan na no kura bi nso enim enyina so ne se
mini aba mami enfa akonya we so na minchia wetie fo ni na okay so adebeti endra na Tuesday 27th May 2025 Honorable Vincent Asefo Echo on the Facebook wall Echo some allegations with regards to Unity Games at Kasoa London. Now in that particular poster or making some allegations against some officials under the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Okay.
And Andrew so United Television, and it was an opportunity for him to have adduced evidence to the allegations, but throughout the whole period, the very word that Oyusu here said, from his deep truth source, it's preparation towards the unity games, there was over 500 NDC supporters. Now, ministry had one call VFS UK for visitors in the pretense of attending the unity games, and the emphasized word is pretense. The word pretense simply means they intended to do that. That's the first thing. The second paragraph will say it appears to be a well-coordinated visa racketeering scheme. The word racketeering simply means fraud. And fraud, we all know, is criminal in our criminal jurisprudence in this country. So as a parliamentarian member of parliament, we all know that they have oversight responsibility on government and parliament. And that responsibility requires some form of dignity, responsiveness, and evidence-based communication. Our allegation there, it is a member of parliament, so when you have this information, it is expected of you, say, have it better and further particulars before you do the allegation. So, say, on Facebook, now I control Abetna United Television, so Ababekasa for several minutes. Now, when to me, do you see any evidence to that particular allegation? I think, say, it is either say or retracted that statement, and I say or the evidence, ebeba. Me say since the MPP lost power, NDC taking over now, or more tries to emulate Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa in the way he was doing his oversight responsibility on the previous government. But one thing else Omuhuni said, he always will come up with what he calls an intercepted document. It is a onya information now, or making sure say, other intercepted documents, facts and figures, and sign ordinance about the abonting. But since MPP went to opposition, we've had first instance of intent forgery, making wild allegation without putting in any documentation and fact. Recently, Adenta Midday putting out information without fact and figures. And recently, we've just seen what Honorable Vincent Asifwa is also.
God remember Mukaka.
Martin.
On say Honorable Vincent Asifwa didn't come in Mashebejani.
Sure.
They are Tosubio or a lawyer ni. And now, so no share program ni ya won say they not here drum no ebisa no. Honorable wa dance here. Who are dance here? Who are dance here? Me wa dance here. Some dem ya mo ye dem obey cry. A dance here me baba won nyini say o nyina so nti o dey kan say me.
No, meaning about who should dare him? Why necessary order and sign all the evidence ne baba? As a member of parliament, so evidence or fact over any wrongdoing via akoswo wa abemwa. You don't wait to be dead before you put in those facts to the public. Into actually say only na subia, only fact dia. The omu yene say, omu ti asem na the abe took the game. Na se ministry no ebe respond dia. Now say abaya topic for discussion. Now say yaka say ministry no enter ye nipa dodo a omo de call ye nipa here omo de call for visa registration and all other stuff. So it is a way to test the waters. And Honorable Vincent Asifwa as a lawyer also knows very well say you see whoever alleges must prove. So the burden of proof is on whoever does the allegation, which in this case, Honorable Vincent Asifwa. It is also say, or when you so be in the hearsay, he shouldn't wait for say be there and sign all the evidence about the two abonting. But meaning about another issue, I say, you're stating it clear and say, the oppressor a certain form of comparison between their allergy and their and their course. So I think in the year 2019, with regards to the Commonwealth Gamer, your call a bar outside under the former Deputy Minister for Sports, Pius Enam Ajide, there have been some visa racketeering, and that is what they want to just push this government into it. But it says will be a NSA. They see under the previous administration. Then in a say, yeah, the Ghana phobia echo who are no more journalists. Omukodu ho ye bowon esansang e de ba Ghana. Me no ka say most of those people are yegigi omusika nina no. Their monies have not been refunded to them. The substantive minister then, it was under the purview of the deputy then, which is Pius Henam Hadide. In this case, and in my write-up, I made send him Honorable Vincent as if for me bisano 4 questions. And so if honorable as he claimed to be me man more than 72 hours for him to respond. 1. Me bisa say, has any individual be alleged say obia jinisika fraudulently? So the neighbor trip na any 1. 2. Has anybody who have been promised a spot or say the neighbor yamfa no anko ana? 3. Say yamfa obi anko, which is with regards to point 2 na. Sani pakono wa allege say yan refunding isika amano. Ana say ya refunding isika amano because obviously so ka so di obi be kwa brochi na oji ni sika na wan fa na nko a it is expected say obi refunding ni pa ni sika amano back. Nti say ya ji obi sika say ya de ne be ko na o man fa na nko a sa ni pa no wa ba be ka say his money has not been refunded to him ana, for which it will amount to fraud. My last question to him in say or say the NDC for na echo. The question is NDC for mo ye Ghana for and no mo ye Ghana for. The one that happened under the Commonwealth Games under MPP no. Na issue ni nya about say the MPP for na echo and the NDC for na echo and the CPP for na echo. The issue has to do with say they impersonated people, so mo ye journalists whilst they were not journalists. Omudu Australia ye bowon esang ede ba Ghana. The minister said say ye Pius Henamajide ene ye. Inti enye issue about say the NDC for na echo and the CPP for na echo. So the attempt to do that comparison say the see under the Australian visa scandal ebina AC wahanum can never be true.
God, me that's that point. What making it clear? What you mean,
Honorable Vincent Atifuano.
God, what you mean, ka?
Me to kaparunya ba.
Me that's what making points ne clear. Na yenshe bibio. Na wo kan say Honorable Vincent Atifuano ni nsemi a okeke obe test waters. Na a ministry no koka. Na abeka say nipa dodo omde omko for visa ni ade omo form say empo. Eyesa yenya amanyesem ento nchen so Ghana ni this year say ekoba sample na nka ministry nya akwanya ema yesa information na sam from so bi ani ho
so from so there eni
okay
but as I say Honorable Vincent ehun say as a member of parliament no say open information there were so many ways or privileges omo dey sorted for an information. Meaning, sir, or you're a member of the committee on sports on the floor of parliament, and I'm a boy.
Save Pepe.
Into you sue that committee to request for better and further particulars. 2, menu in Akasa through the RTI, right to information. So here any further information to buttress in the hearsay now. Obetimia as member of parliament officially to the RTI under the Ministry of Sports to request for every details or document open anameboa. Intia all use this approach rather than going through the formal and official approach. Moma yembonin semintungu only any fact to buttress the allegation he is making because me Vincent as a family pa and I mean the modus operandi of the MPP.
What no personal.
No, meaning any personal. I can't say say minimum the modus operandi of MPP.
Okay.
So more of fact and figures and by this time Vincent as a honorable and called you to a guadada on
Yensha except mini wakase ya na bia na mini wakase wie and I'm here Kasia ya na or the evidence number. What can you say?
No, and no, I'm requested for. Okay. Eventually, my letter to him is for him to substantiate the allegation. If letter na mature man, questions na maybe salon. Now only make a say we no to me that you see evidence. It comes to build his credibility in person. Because many look at any credibility is at stake. Because as an honorable member, you can't make vague allegation without proof. It is on the bar. It requires say silence or and that one I will be very happy and then no boa for the transparency of governance. But any yes, in many cases this year no ogusua oyen.
Yemfan say honorable ate wankasa BBNC what next?
No, so any day me ja the man about the ambassador me chiro say so honorable as he claimed to be. Now say or exercise indeed the oversight responsibility as a member of parliament on government. Now say all the allegation abeto. Now as a citizen, I am also exercising my oversight responsibility on leadership. Now me requested for further and better particulars. Now say famba eto jiwankasa. Going forward, the other betu igwabia no Ghana phone na behu say oyobia no kwadidie eni nanum. Enu ntini ya mfanense serious. But if he wants to be taken seriously, then it is up to him to further substantiate the allegations he made. Until then, no, meno kase no, Ghana phone na mo mayembo ni allegation ni engu because it doesn't come with any substance, it doesn't come with any fact. It is mere words and propaganda.
Godwin, me ba beja okwan ama wako. Letei akodu ninsa ana uposti we.
So because of technology and you don't need to physically hand over an application to somebody because honorable presenter Sefua many share the same Facebook. We are friends. He tags me, I tag him. Letter no, my tagging and I know say working kind and kratano. Within 72 hours, I am still monitoring for his response for him to adduce evidence to his allegation. If not, I know the next step to take.
Godwin Mahama Ayaba UTV that's here.
Mr. Medawase.
I was here for opening the bonk me Ghana ni this year Godwin Mahama Ayaba. What just say and some Rashabedwenima altar for Abaton Persia. Edibetu dra F5 Unity Games at Air Course UK hono. Ohun say onia dance bia enunti or the atuja ensueni samne ni omedware na ne hu fina adanse bia ono. On from Mabonte Emma Ghana phone nyina ehu de etuam. Ye kai arefo nyina se from Tobeka Siebo United Television eso na Uche e ba unchen live ship house Abeka Junction and cry. Yenti ensem no enche mem assembly task force for miensa say wo mo tebia ba bi o mo da no emu oden emu eye adwadifo mienu so eprepra a wo mo pra no nde e wo fom ekakra na ni nyina efa decongestion dwumadie yi a ekoso e wawutu senya iti say de adwadifo ne om de boani e ho no na ekoba ne sa say nyame adom o chema say e yade a ebi epra na ebi nso so etebia ne e wo fom kakra nso ni nyina emu no empanyifo guso a wo hwe atoto eniema nyina yi a enne sei na ababeto eja
wose Kasoa konim na edimboni na ayenya na yinina efiri ho one say adwadifo ni bi the politics ebe mu draw former officials into it so I mean those things were uncalled for omakoshe red na dia eyemare ho ne say omo amachi akoye MP ni fie anope ya me no ka say omugu bebre a omo yedidi oye tre how do you do that? This decongestion exercise is a nationwide exercise. Kasoa baby resistance being mobia tiasie say it was so many tumpon. Besides, up until now, I have had no less than 4 strategic meetings with the leadership. Come down to you to even interact with before the ultimatum. If we have given them all these avenues, and making sure say a problem bana. I see no point. Say no pay ebimu aform ho a share red ayɛ deɛ ɔmpɛyɛ akugu yɛ MPFA
asenad modie ye de ne say yebebo Accra ho ban na ya educate you mo em say you joint operations na ye ne Kasoa task force any nadmo for ye ya educating for the reason why I ancestors omotina ka kwan mu de ben eton ade and a task force for no so pam nkrofo from the pavement kakwa pedestrians no enante no amopamo omo na we na oba Kasoa be hu say kakwa pedestrians no fire pavement so no 24 no de ben amabo canopy wo ho and na task force for no say ebe ya kan omo yi sa canopies na amabo wo pavement no so no na amanfo amo twemu amo nante amo so amo ho betimi han mama aye free aye we na be say 3 months ago yeni concerned traders any petty traders for leaderships no ekasa ye say ebe ya nka yempese yebe ne gidigidi na accreditation ewo kromi ni wenti no amoni amomanfo no nkasa na mo yi sa canopies ni na some of them complied with us bebre no eyiyu amodie but uba fa kwa phone dealers no ewo Kasoa side na Bojasi road ho na amodie amusi omonko amunyi enye se yetu omokrampo amunyi canopy ni keke amusi omodie amunyi ni ade beba bia de be soja bia no enhye na na anopa we yeguso a ye yejuma ye educate ye nadmo for ye educating crofo a nka e force ye tax force no so amuso amuyi omojuma say amanfo enyi amokanopi na e ho na ne yehu say mbeba efi eye phone dealers num amuton phones e wo kwan amukuta mbeba ni we ya amutoto eba na bi kan me crofo na tax force for any other people are now amuwo ho ni bi ebi mu enan abu a ebi so ti apai
Ghana Health Service edi kokobo ma Ghana fo nyina se ye na ye ho so na Mpox yare no ama ne hom ne so na yenye ahweyi ese de be ya entete.
You share last dashboard for Ghana Health Service at least you are confirming 19 cases of Mpox. So now Ashanti region yeah suspected 10 cases. Cases now are suspected testing in negative. Now Mpox crano yarea bay inca connected pane de nkemwa yare your friend is zoonosis more yare but they say no ebitimi nipa na nipa so anya binti broni kan zoonosis yene mo ano edi akotene a yetiminya bi especially squirrels snakes and rodents and monkeys na omo pa na yare no na eti omo na nipa ba akoso nya yare na obenya bia a very close physical contact na emrepi no so lesions ni bi e won ho a pus ni bi won ho na ensuo free mu na bi egu ho a otiminya Mpox bi na osa ben onipa ko ni yipa na bi am kasa na ye kasa yi no broni be kasa respiratory droplets no so otimi enya bi ana onipa ko na wanya bi no ne ho enoma broni be kasa ne learnings ne formines enoma wa use bi bri na ebi atoso no so so wan hwe yi na nsa eka na sa wo de nsa ko wanu ma na se baby a child baby ne bi komu a obetimi anya Mpox nti Mpox yare ne pa de e close physical contact ena ebema enipa wo ediama enipa baako na obi nya sa yare na ede be ena bi hu unya emwa wa ye de Mpox ba ebedi be na miensa ekopem na oche miensa that is 3 days to 21 days and sana yare no adedi first 5 days ne 10 days 15 days ne de wa he kra sa Mpox na ade bia no ebi be good pa ho no obi ne hutimi yehye otimi yamre olusi energy oye bibi kakra bia no ayede wabre ebe 21 days no ekono ansa na rush no ayeda aba Mpox rush no normally starting pa anim ananiti efru ha na akọ ne boso ansa na akọ ne ho ba bia etimi gu ni panisem etimi egu ne nan emu treatment yeni specific address be ma say obi anya Mpox te so anya malaria yema na tesini tamodakun da bi broni self limiting ya manage near support you ya emrepi no you come up without any problem obi ani ho awu Mpox na emum esai
Omanfo a wo densha moda so e wo upper densha west mensin e wo mfimfin mantam e kire se wo da wo enna wo se wakwan no enkoyie krakrakrakra empanyifo bema enkebe ye wo fepa
ahwefo ne atifo mama ajo si de mira ebisa ye no means of transport e wo moda so kro yi mu no pragya ene motorbikes enam ye kwan nti nature of ye kwan nti about 4 years ago ana aban the contract ema road contractor say on hwe na wonsisi kwan mayen obo homodin bia ya hwa ya drains aye bibia aye surface dressing ye filling aye bibia na akasi be kwan so ye hu de ye na contractor sesa ne niema e free kwan so nananum ebo na assembly member and unit committee members e kwan panimfo 18 na enso akoye hwebuada na mai kwan tia na tete pansam uhwe kwan ya just about 2 kilometers from there so upper Dentra West district capital eba modaso we have a lot of potentials, a lot of economic activities here se kwan saban wabei through the assembly it will be hwe kwan ne so okraman ya ke beda omase uhwe abo kwa we se anka contractor no previous contractor ne demand no ka odi bebu kwan so no oman ne de abo ni nyina kire no pai abo ni free obi ani se ka contract de anka ni nyina no ko be quantify no cost so enam si de we pay ko ni yi we pese oman no e yi nti ma ne pai abo ni free no abo no kwa abo nse se gu ho no ma esu afuru a eti ye besre se assembly any aban awabe mbese review contract no na se mbere award a mere award na omumna mehwe ekwan na omunyama yen si aban na otu ni a to si from cry talk ese no ukada ni praga no kra no ntimi ebi akoni aba se fa from na akodi aso akodi blende ni de na kan no ekwan de ha ye pa nso si from praga no kra ni ukada no kra ntimi ko kan de atete afansan ba se de na kan
wo shekasie United Television esoye worship house abeka junction enkran ebremu ye beje enkrato ye ba bongo difara agropamaso ensem